So here we've been provided with a given beaker. This beaker contains a quote-unquote mystery substance of and we've been provided with the volume, the mass, and we've been provided the concentration of the solution. And what we've been asked to calculate is the molar mass of this particular substance. And we've been asked to give our answer to 3 decimal places. Now, given what we've been asked to calculate is the molar mass, one of the initial things I'm going to focus on is, okay, well, what is relevant? What's some of the perhaps relevant equations here? Well, we've got the mass. We're trying to work out the molar mass. So of course, the moles. The equation that relates moles to mass and molar mass is probably one of the things that comes to mind at this point. So we're going to write that out. So moles, let me brush this a bit bigger. Moles is equal to mass divided by molar mass. Right. Now, the other equation that comes to mind, which would be relevant here, given that we've got all these details about concentration and volume, etc., etc., would be the equation that relates the moles to the concentration and volume. For the sake of being concise, I've not included units in my equations here. I'm just providing kind of just the relationship between different things, right? So. And that would be moles is equal to the concentration multiplied by the volume, right? Now, what do we actually have at this time? We do not have the moles in the question. We have a number of the other things. We have the mass, we have got the concentration, and we've got the volume. What I'm going to do at this stage is I'm going to effectively equate these two equations as to, because the moles is the same, it doesn't change, it's the moles of the given substance is the same. So we can say that this side, this is effectively equal to this. So we can say that the mass divided by the molar mass is equal to the concentration multiplied by the volume. However, what the focus is in terms of what we want to make the subject of the equation is the molar mass. Right, so in this instance, how am I going to do that? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by the molar mass, and once I've done that, I'm also going to divide both sides by concentration and volume. What that's going to do is it's going to put molar mass on this side. So this is going to be multiplying this side by molar mass. And this side is going to be multiplying that by molar mass. And we're going to also be multiplying this side by effectively 1 over concentration multiply. I'm just going to put V for volume just because I kind of run out of space. Concentration times volume, right? Okay. And if we work out what that is, what we've got is that the molar mass here obviously cancels to get 1. And on this side, when you divide by concentration and volume. So multiplied by 1 over concentration. I'll just put conc there, concentration times V. And on this side, of course, same thing basically happens. This cancels to 1, and this cancels to 1. So what we get on this side is just molar mass, right? And so on this side, you've got the concentration times volume, 1 over concentration times volume. Get mass over concentration times volume is equal to the molar mass. Right? And at this point, if we refer back to the question, what we find is that all of those values are provided in the question. So the mass is provided, the concentration is provided, as is the volume. And so all we need to do at this stage is to effectively plug the values into this, right? So our mass we have here is 20.879 grams, right? So 20.879, divide that by the concentration, which is 1.412. Now, before I add the multiplication symbol, what I am going to do, because we're now coming to actually working out what this is I'm going to integrate the units into my working out. This is just for the sake of, it just helps. It would help with error checking in some scenarios. So here we've got grams. 1.412, we've got moles per dm³, so then we can get our multiplication symbol back here. So let's put that in, multiplied by, and then our volume 0.329 dm³, 0.329, and that's in dm³, right? And so when we have that now, I would invite you to have a go at this, work out what this would be, and what you should come up with for the molar mass is 44.9447635. The question asks us to give our answer to 3 decimal places, so therefore this needs to be rounded. And when I do round it to 3 decimal places, I get 44.945, right? And so 44.945, and then our units. Now, based on the fact that molar mass is what we've been asked to calculate, you can from that effectively work out what the units need to be. So because this is molar mass, it's typically going to be in grams per mole, but we can also just take a look quickly at what this would be just simply based on doing some unit maths here. So G divided by moles dm³ and then dm³, right? So from the volume, right? So we look at that, and of course this, when we multiply these two, this cancels out effectively, and when we look at this, you can see that this is simply just grams divided by mole, which, as we know, is represented as grams per mole. So both ways, looking at it from a perspective of, well, what do we represent molar mass as, and looking at it from a perspective of, well, in this specific question with the specific units from prior calculation, what do we get? And then we get that, right? So grams per mole, right? So this would be, in this case, our answer, and that kind of complies with what we've been asked to do, right?